There are two kinds of parabolas, those that are what we call vertical or up-down ones, and those would have a directrix with a vertex and then a focus kind of in this orientation. So if I want to figure out what the equation of the parabola is relative to this, what I can do is I can say, let's let this distance, and remember, whenever we introduce a variable, we really need some let statements. So I'm going to say, let hk be the vertex. And so because I've done that, I'm going to give the vertex ordered pairs of hk. Then I'm going to let c equal the distance from the focus, from the vertex to the focus. So I'm going to diagram C here and here because C is also the distance from the vertex to the directrix. And that is quite a loud storm outside. Okay, so when we say directrix, we mean this straight line here. And this line is a horizontal line specifically because this is an up-down parabola. Now, what I have to do in order to derive this is I have to come up with an equation for, or coordinates for f. Now, f is going to have the same x as the vertex, but it's going to have a different k. It's actually going to be k plus c. It's going to be just upwards from there. And furthermore, this directrix is actually going to have an equation of y equals k minus c. So what I'm going to do to build this equation is I'm going to pick an arbitrary point just somewhere on this, and I'm going to call this point xy. And we are going to say, by definition, for a parabola, the distance to the focus is equal to the distance to the directrix. Now, to get this, I just need one more point labeled. I'm going to label this point here that I'm drawing on the directrix. That's going to have the same x as the coordinate I just chose, but it's going to have a different y. Its y is actually going to be equal to k minus c because it has the same y value as the line of the directrix. So we have everything we need to build this equation. Watch the neatness that happens. We're going to use the distance formula. I'm going to say the distance from x to here, so that's going to be x minus h squared plus y minus parentheses k plus c squared. And I'm not going to draw the square root symbol because I'm just going to square both sides as the next step. That's going to be equal to the sum of the squares of the other distance, meaning this distance here. So that's going to be x minus x squared plus y minus k minus c squared. So let's work this out a little bit. This I'm going to leave because I have my x minus h squared. I don't really need anything else with that. So I don't want to FOIL that out, but the next part I do want to FOIL. I'm going to FOIL that and make this y squared minus 2k plus c y, and then plus k plus c squared. So that's just FOILing but keeping the k plus c as a group because I'll deal with that later. Equals, this goes away, and I'm going to FOIL the right side. Y squared minus 2k minus c y plus k minus c squared. Okay, we're going to read back this over and start to multiply some things out. So I have x minus h squared plus y squared minus 2ky minus 2cy plus k squared plus 2kc plus c squared equals y squared minus 2ky minus plus 2cy, then plus k squared minus 2kc plus c squared. That's a lot. And a lot of stuff is going to cancel now. Y squareds drop out on both sides. The negative 2ky drops out on both sides. We have a k squared that drops out on both sides, and we have a c squared that drops out on both sides. So I'm going to move all the y terms over to the right side while keeping the x minus h squared on the left side. So that means the plus 2kc stays over on the right, and I got another plus 2kc coming over. Equals, then I have 2cy plus 2cy over on the right side. Or, if I move it around and switch things around, I have 4cy is equal to x minus h squared plus 4kc. Finally, if I divide both sides by a 4c, That means that this gets divided by 4c and this gets divided by 4c. I get y is equal to, and instead of putting it over 4c, I'm going to put it as 1 over 4c x minus h squared plus k. So basically, this is identical to the equation we used to have, which was y is equal to a x minus h squared plus k. It's just that now we have a different variable or letter, and we're going to say a is equal to 1 over 4c, or if I swap that around, c is actually equal to 1 over 4a. So many of you guys are wanting to know, what does that a value do? Well, if I break it up and make it 1 over 4c, and I go back up and see what c means, c is that distance from the vertex to the focus, or the vertex to the directrix, and that lets me get what c is. So that's the derivation of this. I would challenge you to flip this whole thing over on itself and do it again for the right-left one.